Hi folks, it's James here. How's it going? Welcome to another video. I'm going to show some vinyl finds and also some fantastic record gifts that I've had from a couple of very generous people. So in the background, this rather noisy record you can hear, this is Wray live at the Paradiso. Picked this up recently from my local market stand. I thought it looked like a good bet. I picked up a Wray album a while ago. It was the one with Robert Gordon, and it was a studio record, and the guitar sound was rather muted on it, so I thought this would be a good bet because it's a live record, recorded live at the Paradiso, Amsterdam, with the Mirror Sound Mobile Studio, 1979, and it's a real kind of balls to the wall, greasy, grindy kind of album. You can probably hear in the background Wray, it's his most musically delinquent, I think. So yeah, great pickup, great fun. A while ago, I was in North Wales, which is where I'm from, and my dad took me to an antiques centre near my hometown, which I'd never been to before, and I actually found a new record there. It was the last thing I was expecting to find, but I found this. This is Waxahachie and Ivy Trip, and I'd seen Graham Watson, Cracking Vinyl, show this record, or maybe it was another one by them, and he said he really liked it. So I saw it on the wall, and it's on white vinyl, and it was going for, I think it was going for £8, so it wasn't kind of cheap, so it was a bit of a blind buy. Waxahachie, they are basically a vehicle for the songwriting talents of Katie Crutchfield, who apparently was from the Alabama indie punk rock scene. Not entirely sure when they were around, but she's now gone solo. This is a really good album. It's kind of indie with a bit of electronica thrown in. Slightly folky, guitar-driven songs with a very ethereal, melodic voice that she brings to the tracks, but occasional kind of electronic touches. I was impressed by that. Yeah, so thanks Graham for that recommendation. Interesting things to find on the wall of an antiques centre, new record. Also, while I was in North Wales, I went to Alan Hughes Film, Music and Nostalgia, or Music, Film and Nostalgia, I can never remember the name of the shop, in Wrexham, my hometown. I picked up a few things there. I'm not going to show all the things I bought, just going to show this one thing actually, which I was really pleased to find because it was kind of a grail for me. I picked up the first Ultravox record. I'm going to do a feature on Ultravox and John Fox and various other people of that ilk at some point down the line. I found their second album a while ago as well, and it's quite interesting delving back into the history of this band. Obviously, that they became known later on for the Mid-Year incarnation, which was a kind of pop synth bombastic thing, but of course they were a post-punk band in their earliest incarnation, kind of scratchy, edgy sounding punk rock, but done with a real kind of arty twist to it. John Fox, very individual songwriter with his own style, so I was really pleased to pick that up. It's in great condition, and yeah, that's great. It's on Island Records. It's a beautiful label, so yeah, Ultravox. Okay, back in my hometown, as in where I live now, this was an amazing Goodwill find, charity shop find from Oxfam. I didn't even know this was available on vinyl. This is B.B. King and There Is Always One More Time, which came out in 1991, and I bought this on cassette. back in my Leeds days, and it was before I knew anything about the blues at all. I'd never heard of B.B. King. At this stage, I don't think I'd even heard of, you know, people like Muddy Waters and all those guys, but I used to listen to the Whispering Bob Harris show. He's a British DJ. He used to do a great show, late night show on Radio 1, I think it was, or maybe it was Radio 2. Anyway, he played a song from this record. It's called The Blues Come Over Me, and it's a beautiful track. It's kind of, it is a bit on the smooth side. You know, this is a kind of produced blues album, if you will, but it's a really nicely produced blues album. It does have a slight sheen of 90s stuff going on, a bit of synthesizer here and there, but it doesn't really detract. It's got a very deep, rich sound to it. Absolutely fantastic album. The closing song, There Is Always One More Time, is brilliant. I'll put a link down below so you can hear it. Great stuff. Like I said, I had it on cassette back in the day. Bought it from, I think I bought it from Virgin Records in Leeds. And it was kind of, you know, from that period where vinyl records were becoming more scarce. I probably bought it on cassette back then because I couldn't find the record. And it just popped up in Oxfam last week, immaculate condition, so I was really pleased with that. So that's B.B. King, There Is Always One More Time. Just another couple of charity shop finds, again from Oxfam in Lancaster. I picked up a copy of the Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll, which is one of the, maybe the last classic 1970s Stones album I was looking for. I left a copy behind a couple of years ago and regretted it, so I was pleased to find it. I always thought it was a gatefold album though, and this one is not a gatefold. Can anybody enlighten me? Was it a gatefold? Maybe this is a reissue, not sure, but yeah, so I was really pleased with that. Kind of an underrated Stones album, I think. Steve, Flipside CT, did a great feature on it a while ago, which is quite enlightening. It kind of comes from what was later termed the Stones doldrum period. I think it was kind of name-checked at by some, you know, music journalists, because it sort of came from that period where they were very commercially successful, but arguably had started to lose touch with their kind of bluesy roots and had kind of started going in a more AOR direction, I suppose. It's not the most raw Stones album, but it does have some great tracks on it, including one of my all-time favourite Stones songs, the last song on side 2, Fingerprint File, which is an absolute kind of dark funk rock classic. Keith on lead vocals, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, really pleased to find that. The Stones and It's Only Rock and Roll. And the last one I want to show you before I get on to the record gifts, a Grail again from Oxfam a couple of days ago. I was absolutely stunned to find a copy of Goodbye Jumbo by World Party. Never seen it on vinyl in the wild before. I did a video on World Party last year. I'll put the link up there somewhere so you can go and watch that if you want. Carl Wallinger, one of the guys who'd been in the Waterboys, formed his own band in the late 80s and went on to release a string of excellent records. This was their second album, I think, and it's the most commercially successful one. Okay, so it's got their most, well, one of their most famous songs on it, Put the Message in the Box, which is a kind of early 90s pop rock, folk, psych flavoured classic. Great band, great artist, Carl Wallinger. He's making a comeback apparently, so that should be something to watch out for. And yeah, I was dead pleased to find that in Oxfam. I think it was about £10, but I was more than happy to pay for it. World Party. Okay, just going to whiz through these record gifts now. The first one I want to show. People who've been tuning in recently will know that not so long ago I acquired an entire record collection from a friend of mine. He was clearing out his loft. He wanted to get rid of all his records, so he gave me a big load of stuff. He, you know, gave me Beatles stuff, 45s and 12 inches and albums. I am going to get around to showing everything he showed me, probably in the autumn after I've had a chance to go through it all. Just wanted to show you this one though, because this is great fun. This is No Wave Pizza Picture Disc. It's a rare new wave compilation. And it's just the most incredible thing you've ever seen. Pizza album. And I don't know anything about it other than the track list, as in I don't know where it came from. Special limited edition. It's got Squeeze, The Police, Joe Jackson, The Stranglers, the Dickies, who were a great punk band. content, don't care. Interesting looking record. I've not actually played it yet. I've given it a clean, hoping it's going to sound good, but yeah, absolutely fantastic looking thing, isn't it? Yeah, No Wave, Pizza Picture Disc LP, can't even say it. Okay, so to finish the video, I'm going to show you a few things that I got from my good friend Richard MCook on the VC. Check him out if you haven't already. Great guy, great channel. We talk almost every day on Facebook. We've formed a bit of a bond, really. We have very similar tastes in music and we come from the same period. You know, we are a very similar vintage. He sent me some great things. He sent me this MUNGO Jerry album. The only song I knew by them was In the Summertime, which I've always loved. Didn't know anything about it at all, so gave this a spin. It's fantastic. It's very rootsy, and yeah, I just absolutely loved it. There's a song on here which my band plays, and my mind's gone completely blank, even though we played it about 150 trillion times, you know, in the clubs. Anyway, it's kind of, like I said, it's very to the bone, bluesy, skiffly, kind of good time rock and roll music. Don't know a great deal about them. I'm going to do a bit of research on these guys and maybe try and pick up some more records by them. But that was a great thing to have from Richard. And then he also sent me, some 45s, which I must admit I've got into my box of singles, which is quite hard to get hold of, so I'll show those at a future date. But Richard also sent me some Elton John records. He sent me the eponymous album, maybe it's his second album, not entirely sure. Nice record, very sort of piano led. I know it sounds a bit strange to say piano led because Elton John obviously was a pianist, but it's a bit less band orientated. It seems a bit more stripped down to just him and the keys. Great album. This one, Tumbleweed Connection, really enjoyed this one. This is his kind of Americana record. Sounds a lot like the band. I never realised that Elton was kind of so into his Americana. I knew that Bernie Taupin, the lyricist, was heavily into all his cowboy stuff, you know, but yeah, that's a great record. Not a gatefold version, apparently it was a reissue of some kind. And then Richard also sent me Blue Moves by Elton John, a record I'd literally never heard before. I'd never heard any of the singles from it or anything, so that was a great listen. Still getting to know that one, sounds really good. And then Richard also sent me a Nick Lowe album, which I'd never seen before. This is The Abominable Showman. I'm kind of starting to collect Nick Lowe now. Jeff Pasi sent me a couple of his records last year, which I really enjoyed. I was always into him back in the day. I bought his singles, just never got into his albums. This is an album, Richard told me that he didn't think it was one of his better albums, but I really enjoyed it. There's a great song on here called, is it Man of a Fool? I think it was Man of a Fool that I really enjoyed. I need to give it another couple of listens, but I was pleasantly surprised given that Richard didn't do a kind of hard sell on it. It's an album which I think I'm going to grow to like a lot. So check out Richard if you haven't already, and thank you Richard for those absolutely brilliant gifts. You're a star. Okay, and just to finish with, two records which literally came in the post yesterday and I've not had a chance to listen to them yet, but I wanted to show them and I'll explain why in a minute. So these next two are from Pasi. I'll put the link up there. Pasi is from Finland. He's been on the VC for a long time, makes some great videos. He's sort of into heavy metal, but he's not just metal, he's also a lot of classic rock and, you know, all kinds of things really. You know, he's into his soul music. He knew that I liked Marvin Gaye, he likes Marvin Gaye as well. He sent me a message on the Messenger, said that he'd seen a copy of this record in his local record store and he asked me if I had it. I said no, so he sent this to me. Back to Black, That's the Way Love Is, not a record that I know at all. I see it's produced by Norman Whitfield, 1969, so that's likely to be a really nice record. Love me some Marvin. And then Pasi also sent me this record which I didn't know anything about. This is Dr. John. I did a Dr. John video a while ago and I showed the Night Tripper record. This is another Night Tripper album, didn't know about this one. I think it's called The Sun. Let me just check, make sure I've got it straight here. The Sun, Moon and Herbs. So I'm presuming it's from the same period, probably late 1960s, early 1970s. Some great artwork here. And this is a Music on Vinyl reissue. So Pasi, absolutely stunned by these. Absolutely fantastic. So thrilled with those. Thanks ever so much. Check out Pasi. Oh, one more thing from him. He also sent me a CD, which I'll show you. It doesn't come with a jewel case, it's just the thing. 40 Blue Fingers, freshly packed and ready to serve. This is Chicken Shack. I think a kind of blues rock band. Don't know anything about them at all, so we'll be looking forward to that. Produced by Mike Vernon, I see. He was a big, famous British producer back in the day. He produced all kinds of people. I think he produced Elton John. Anyway, the record is finished, so I need to depart. So I'm going to take a break from the VC for a while. I've been churning out videos now for about a year, non-stop. I need a break. I've got a couple of projects on the go, including one project I'm quite excited about. I'm not gonna reveal it now because I want to get a bit further down the line with it. But it's a kind of it's a writing project. It's a kind of extended piece of writing, shall we say? It might turn into a book. I don't know. We'll see. Music based, but it's going to take some concentration and some time and some focus. Plus, I just need a bit of a break from the VC. I think it's good to step away from it every now and then. Don't know how long I'll be gone for, hopefully not too long, but in the meantime, I'm sure things will churn on without me. Big thank you to all my subscribers, viewers. Thanks ever so much for your support. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon. Well, not very soon, but I will see you at some point down the line. Okay, take care, folks. Enjoy the rest of your summer. And tatty bye for now. Peace.